Kevin and I were together for more than 15 years. We actually used to live down the street from this church. And we often walked over here sometimes just to listen to the choir practice. Kevin always felt that the Fourth Church was exemplary with their community work and really represented everything that a church should be. So it is quite an honor that we're able to have his service here today. Thank you. I have never much cared for the term ex when speaking about Kevin. As our divorce was simple, we opened up a big bottle of wine and wrote down our intentions and simply handed them to an attorney. Afterwards, we would get together, sometimes for sushi. We frequently watched each other's dogs. I even took him to his colonoscopy. Insert your own joke there. So I have never called Kevin my ex. He is my husband. It's a good term, use it. I don't have a trademark on it. It's a good term. Speaking of dogs, as we've already said, if you knew Kevin, you knew his German Shepherd dog, Sky. She and my German Shepherd, whose name is Ditka, have been best friends since Kevin adopted Sky in 2017. She is probably the sweetest German Shepherd of all time, and ours is her new forever home. She's getting lots of belly rubs, treats, and walks. When I think of Kevin's spirit, I am reminded of his favorite book, The Hobbit, in which Bilbo Baggins exclaimed, "I'm going on an adventure." He was always immensely curious and loved a challenge. As you know, he was also an artist. For many years, Kevin was a blown glass artist, a difficult, highly physical, and somewhat dangerous artistic endeavor. And as you know, he created all the glass art that you see down there on the table. Do you know how those large glass plates are made? Oh, it's easy. You simply pick up a 2,700-degree blob of molten silica, lime, and sodium on the end of a steel blowpipe, then slowly open up that blob while quickly spinning that molten glass at the end of the pipe. To make that one of those large plates, I literally saw Kevin jump up and down while adding enough torque onto that pipe so that the glass molecules would slide outward to make a large plate. That's called coefficient of expansion for our physicists who are here. He knows that. This art form requires perfect coordination between the right and the left hands, and it took Kevin years to perfect the precise movements required to create those glass art pieces. More than 20 years ago, I introduced Kevin to scuba diving, and in true Kevin fashion, scuba became an obsession. In 2 short years, he logged more than 400 dives. That's more dives than I had accomplished in the previous 2 decades. He earned certifications in trimix, nitrox, dry suit diving, cave and wreck diving, and the use of rebreather equipment, which is the same equipment used by the Navy SEALs. Kevin even worked for a time as a rescue diver for the Chicago Fire Department. Through diving, Kevin explored the depths of the Great Lakes, surveying dozens of shipwrecks in near freezing water. He dived with giant manta rays and their 22-foot wingspan near the Socorros Islands. He dived with green sea turtles in the Caribbean, sharks and humpback whales in Hawaii. He also investigated the vast network of underwater caves in Mexico. Do you know how to squeeze through a tiny hole in an underwater cave? Well, what you need to do is remove your tank and your BCD, keep your regulator in your mouth, shove that tank and BCD through the hole, swim through it, put your gear back on, and move along. He loved it. I was screaming inside my head the entire time. He did not lack fear, but he was able to compartmentalize it and let logic and process prevail. He was also an incredibly powerful swimmer. While we were diving in the Galapagos Islands near the Darwin Arch, we came alongside a whale shark. For those of you who don't know, the whale shark is the largest fish in the ocean. And this one was a big female. She was about 35 feet long, which is about the size of a CTA bus. Anyway, I could not keep up with her. So I handed Kevin one of my cameras, and he shot up towards her face and took so many photos of her eyeing him like, "Who are you and how did you get here?" Many scuba divers also play underwater hockey as a means to improve fin and breath control. Now, here's what happens in underwater hockey. Two teams try to maneuver a 3-pound puck along the bottom of a swimming pool, all the while holding their breath, and you only wear a mask, fins, and snorkel. You're not wearing scuba gear. It's perhaps one of the most obscure sports in the world, but it is exceptionally tough, somewhat chaotic, and altogether exhilarating. Not only did Kevin love playing underwater hockey, he also designed and built and sold custom gloves, sticks or pushers, and traveled all over North America with his teammates. He also participated and organized underwater hockey tournaments. Many of Kevin's underwater hockey friends are here today. In case some of you would like to take up the sport, go ahead and talk to them. Some of his teammates have told me that during games, they could always count on Kevin giving all to score. He most recently played forward and, like Michael Jordan, possessed an astonishing amount of speed, strength, and power to help shove goals into the net along the bottom of a swimming pool. During underwater hockey practices, Kevin would always take it upon himself to make improvements. His team's new pool in Bensonville didn't have walls or a line to help designate the court space. Kevin innovatively created a weighted cord that his teammates still use to this day to create that boundary. No one asked him to do it, he just did it. He did a lot of things like that for the sport and for others over the years. Kevin would see someone not get enough power in their kicking and show up at the next practice with a new pair of fins that he thought would help them improve their kick. He would never charge them for it. When asked for a price, he would just randomly throw a dollar amount out. That was way below market price. He enjoyed the camaraderie of underwater hockey, and it was really never about creating a business. Other activities, and there are others, in Kevin's wheelhouse included rock climbing, easily hiking 14ers in the Rocky Mountains. That's hikes above 14,000 feet. Welding and cooking. He was a great cook and often cooked at his assigned firehouses. The trouble was, when he would come home to our house to cook, he cooked as though there were 15 men living in our house. And we had leftovers for days. Adventurer, traveler, athlete, friend, artist. My husband was all of these. Kevin was also an avid reader. And again, in true Kevin fashion, he was typically reading 2 or 3 books at a time, plus The Economist, plus popular mechanics. But again, his favorite book was The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Please do me a favor and repeat after me. I'm going on an adventure.
I'm going on an adventure.
One more time. I'm going on an adventure.
I'm going on an adventure.
Do that in the spirit of Lieutenant Kevin Peter Ward will live on. Thank you.